The sunset bleeds through my office window, casting long shadows across the desk where I've spent the last 4 years building someone else's dream. There's something different about tonight's light, something final. My fingertips trace the edge of my keyboard, memorizing its familiar texture, while my stomach twists with the certainty that everything's about to change. I should have seen it coming. The whispered conversations that stopped when I walked by. The way Talia's eyes wouldn't quite meet mine during our morning coffee ritual. The sudden scheduling conflicts whenever I tried to get time with Pierce, but I wanted so badly to believe I was being paranoid. My phone buzzes. Pierce's name appears on the screen. My office, now. The walk down the hallway feels like moving through water. Each step echoes against the polished concrete floors of our startup turned empire. Engineers hunch over their screens, headphones firmly in place. None of them look up. They know what's coming, probably knew before I did. Gianna, Pierce doesn't stand when I enter. He remains seated behind his massive desk, fingers steepled like some cartoon villain. Please, sit. I remain standing. I'd prefer not to. Suit yourself. He sighs as if I'm already exhausting him. We're implementing some structural changes. The board feels we need to streamline operations, focus on core competencies. Cut the corporate bullshit, Pierce. My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Just tell me I'm fired. His lips twitch. Your position has been eliminated. Talia will be absorbing your responsibilities as part of her promotion to Chief Product Officer. The betrayal hits like a physical blow. Talia, my friend, my confidant, the person I trained myself, has been orchestrating this behind my back. All those late night strategy sessions, all the secrets we shared, I feel sick. Effective immediately, Pierce continues, sliding a manila envelope across his desk. Your severance package is generous. Sign today, and we'll add 3 months of healthcare coverage. I want to scream. I want to flip his pretentious desk. I want to march straight to Talia's office and demand answers. Instead, I smile. You really think you can buy my silence? Something flickers in his eyes. Uncertainty? Fear? Good. The company appreciates your contributions, Gianna. But business is business. I'm sure you understand. Oh, I understand perfectly. I lean forward, placing my palms flat on his desk. I understand that you're making a massive mistake. And I understand that someday, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but someday you'll realize exactly what you've lost. Are you threatening me? His voice hardens. Threatening? No, making a promise. I straighten up, smoothing my blazer. Keep the severance package. I'd rather keep my integrity. I turn to leave, but his voice stops me. Don't do anything foolish, Gianna. Remember who holds the power here. Looking back over my shoulder, I let him see the fire in my eyes. That's your first mistake, Pierce. You think power is something you hold. I think it's something you earn. And you've just made a very powerful enemy. The door clicks shut behind me with satisfying finality. My hands shake as I gather my things, dropping family photos and spare chargers into my bag. A shadow falls across my desk. Talia. Gianna, she starts. I hold up my hand. Don't. Just don't. You have to understand, it wasn't personal. Wasn't personal? I laugh, the sound sharp enough to make her flinch. You were my best friend. I trusted you with everything, and you've been planning this for months, haven't you? Her silence is answer enough. I hope the corner office is worth it. I shoulder my bag, leaving everything else behind. Let them pack it up. Let them wonder what I took with me. Let them worry. The elevator doors slide open, and I step inside. As they close, I catch one last glimpse of the empire I helped build. The gleaming surfaces, the ambitious plans pinned to walls, the faces carefully turned away from my departure. 4 years of my life, reduced to a cardboard box and a broken trust. But they've made a critical error. They think they're writing the end of my story. Really, they've just written the beginning. I pull out my phone and open my contacts. Victoria's name stands out, my old mentor from my first startup days, the one who warned me about Pierce's reputation, the one I should have listened to. My thumb hovers over her number as the elevator descends. By the time it reaches the lobby, I've made my decision. They want to play corporate chess? Fine, but they're about to learn they're not the only ones who know how to move pieces across the board. Game on. 3 days into unemployment, and my apartment feels like it's shrinking. Empty wine bottles line the kitchen counter, a timeline of my descent from shock to rage. My phone keeps lighting up with concerned messages from my sister Elena, but I can't deal with her everything happens for a reason optimism right now. I'm scrolling through LinkedIn, torturing myself by watching Talia's profile update with her new title when a news alert catches my eye. My hands start shaking as I read the headline: Tech Startup Quantum Dynamics Acquires Revolutionary AI Patent. The patent, my patent, the one Pierce said wasn't worth pursuing. Lying bastard. I whisper, hurling my phone onto the couch. The pieces click together with sickening clarity. All those closed-door meetings, the sudden interest in my research documentation, Talia's convenient promotion. They didn't just want me gone. They needed me gone. My laptop whirs to life as I dig through old emails, searching for proof. There, buried in a folder marked Project Phoenix, is the original patent application draft I'd sent to Pierce 4 months ago. His response: not aligned with current business objectives. Table this for now. The room spins as fury rises in my throat. I grab my keys and my laptop, needing to escape these walls before they suffocate me. The coffee shop 2 blocks away has been my second office for years. Right now, I need its familiar comfort more than caffeine. Your usual? Marco asks from behind the counter, concern creasing his forehead. Haven't seen you this week. Been busy reevaluating my life choices. I attempt a smile. Make it a double shot today. I'm halfway through my latte when Victoria walks in. Not a coincidence. This has always been our meeting spot. She slides into the chair across from me, elegant as ever in her charcoal blazer. You look like hell, darling. Thanks for coming, I say, closing my laptop. I assume you've seen the news? About quantum? She nods, eyes sharp. Pierce moved faster than I expected. Sloppy. They stole my work, Victoria, right out from under me. My voice cracks. I trusted them. I trusted her. Trust is a luxury in this industry. She reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. But betrayal? That's ammunition if you know how to use it. What are you saying? I'm saying I warned you about Pierce for a reason. I've watched him destroy careers before. But you? She leans back, a slight smile playing at her lips. You might be the first person clever enough to destroy his. My phone buzzes. Talia's name appears on the screen. After 3 days of silence, now she wants to talk? I decline the call, but seconds later, a text appears. Please, I need to explain. Meet me at Riverside Park? Victoria reads the message over my shoulder. Go, she says. But remember, everything she says is either ammunition or misdirection. Choose wisely. The park is quiet this time of day. Talia sits on our usual bench, the one where we used to eat lunch and dream up product features. She looks smaller somehow, hunched against the autumn wind. I tried to tell you, she says as I approach. I wanted to warn you, but Pierce, save it. I remain standing, using my height to full advantage. I don't need explanations. I need answers. Did you know about the patent? She flinches. Not at first. By the time I found out, the deal was already. When? My voice could freeze hell. When did you know? 2 months ago. She stares at her hands. Pierce said if I didn't play along, I'd be next. I had to protect myself. By sacrificing me, tears burn behind my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. I would have protected you. That's what friends do. Gianna, please. No. I step back as she reaches for me. You don't get to ask anything of me anymore, but I want you to remember this moment. Remember how it feels, because when everything falls apart, and it will, you'll know exactly who to blame. Walking away, I pull out my phone and text Victoria. I'm in, whatever it takes. Her response comes immediately. Dinner, tonight. Bring everything you have on Project Phoenix. The sun sets behind the city skyline, painting the buildings in shades of revenge. In my pocket, my phone buzzes with another call from Talia. This time, I don't even look at the screen. They thought they could erase me. Instead, they've given me nothing left to lose, and that makes me more dangerous than they could possibly imagine. Victoria's penthouse office feels more like a war room tonight. Stacks of documents cover her glass dining table, while my laptop screen casts a blue glow across our tired faces. The persistent hum of her ceiling fan matches the buzz in my head after 6 hours of strategic planning. Run it by me again, Victoria says, swirling her whiskey. Every detail matters. The patent application wasn't just about AI integration. I pull up the original schematics. It was a complete system architecture. Pierce didn't just steal my idea, he stole the foundation for their entire next gen platform. And the backup files? Encrypted, stored on my personal cloud drive. I manage a small smile. Some of us learned from your paranoia. Wisdom, darling, not paranoia. She taps her screen. Dorian's speaking at the Tech Summit next week. He's been pushing ethical AI development. Could be useful. I freeze at the name. Dorian Dixon, Pierce's former partner? The same. They had a spectacular falling out last year. Victoria's eyes gleam. Something about intellectual property rights. My mind races with possibilities. Dorian's reputation for integrity is legendary in the industry. If he knew what Pierce had done, a notification pops up on my screen. An email from an anonymous account. My heart stops when I see the subject line. Project Phoenix, full documentation. Victoria. My voice shakes. Look at this. The attached files contain everything: internal memos, meeting minutes, acquisition paperwork, all proving Pierce knew about my patent's value months ago, all proving the theft was deliberate. Well, Victoria breathes, someone's feeling guilty. Talia. The realization hits like lightning. This has to be from her. Perhaps. Victoria's tone turns cautionary. Or perhaps it's Pierce setting a trap. Anonymous evidence has a funny way of backfiring in court. She's right. Using these files would reveal our source, potentially destroying any legal advantage. But something else catches my eye. A calendar invite for tomorrow morning. Pierce is presenting Quantum's acquisition to potential investors. What if we don't need the files? I lean forward, energy surging through my exhaustion. What if we just need the right audience? Victoria's eyebrow arches. I'm listening. The next morning finds me in the lobby of the Millennium Hotel, heart pounding beneath my most expensive suit. Investors and tech journalists mill around, waiting for Pierce's presentation. I spot Dorian near the coffee station, his tall frame impossible to miss. Mr. Dixon, I extend my hand. Gianna Wheeler. Recognition flickers in his eyes. Pierce's former product lead. Among other things, I keep my voice low. I believe we share some concerns about Quantum's latest acquisition. He studies me for a long moment. Coffee? We find a quiet corner. I lay out the basics: my patent, the theft, the timing. With each detail, his expression darkens. I've suspected something like this, he says finally. Pierce's ethics have always been flexible, but proving it, I don't need to prove it yet. I glance toward the conference room doors. I just need to raise the right questions during his presentation. Dorian's lips curve slightly. Questions about the original patent application? Questions about everything. I pull out my phone, showing him my presentation badge, courtesy of Victoria's connections. Unless you think I should walk away? He considers me carefully. Walking away would be safer. I didn't come here to be safe. No, he says softly. I don't suppose you did. He pulls out a business card, scribbling on the back. This is my private number. When this goes sideways, and it will, call me. The conference room fills quickly. I spot Talia near the front, looking polished but tense. She doesn't see me slip into a seat near the middle, laptop ready. Pierce takes the stage, radiating confidence. Today, we're announcing a revolutionary step forward in AI technology. I wait until he's deep into the technical specifications before raising my hand. Could you clarify something about the core architecture? He falters slightly, finally seeing me. Perhaps we could address questions after. It's just that the design seems remarkably similar to a patent application submitted to Quantum 4 months ago. My voice carries clearly through the room. Before any acquisition discussions with Quantum. Interesting timing, wouldn't you say? The room stirs. Journalists' fingers fly across keyboards. Pierce's face hardens as he realizes what's happening. Ms. Wheeler, if you have concerns, my legal team would be happy to. Oh, I have more than concerns. I stand slowly. I have questions, and I think everyone here deserves answers. Talia's face has gone white. Phones are coming out, recording. And in the back of the room, Dorian Dixon leans forward, looking very interested indeed. Game on indeed. The aftermath of the presentation hits like a tsunami. Tech blogs explode with headlines about potential patent theft. Quantum stock takes a dive, and my LinkedIn inbox floods with messages. But victory feels hollow when my phone lights up with an unfamiliar number. Ms. Wheeler? A clipped professional voice. This is Sandra from Blackwood Legal. We're representing Quantum Dynamics in a cease and desist action. My hands shake as I end the call. Within minutes, the email arrives. Pages of legal threats, demands for silence, warnings about malicious interference. They're trying to scare me. It's working. I forward the email to Victoria, then pace my apartment until she calls back. They're bluffing, she says immediately, but they're also desperate, which makes them dangerous. Pierce is claiming I violated my NDA. My voice cracks. Says he'll sue me into oblivion. Of course he is. You embarrassed him publicly. She pauses. The question is, are you prepared for what comes next? Before I can answer, another call comes in. Dorian. Hold on, I tell Victoria. I assume you've received their legal threat? He says without preamble. Just now, meet me at the Grove. 1 hour. He hangs up before I can respond. The Grove is quiet for a weekday afternoon. Dorian sits at a corner table, a manila envelope in front of him. His expression is grave. Before we continue, he says as I sit, I need to know exactly what you're trying to achieve here. Justice, recognition for my work, to stop Pierce from, no. He cuts me off. The truth, Gianna, what do you really want? The question hits harder than it should. I want them to hurt like I hurt. I want them to lose everything like I did. He nods slowly. Then you should see this. He slides the envelope across the table. Inside are documents, financial records, board meeting minutes, emails. My stomach lurches as I read. This can't be right. Pierce has been cooking the books for months. Quantum is bleeding money. The acquisition of your patent? It's their last play for survival. Understanding dawns with horrible clarity. If I pursue this, if I prove the theft, the company collapses, hundreds of employees lose their jobs, including many who had nothing to do with what happened to you. My coffee turns bitter in my mouth. All those engineers I used to work with, the marketing team, the customer service reps, all of them casualties of my revenge. Why are you showing me this? Dorian leans back, studying me. Because 15 years ago, I was you, ready to burn everything down because I'd been wronged. Someone showed me the bigger picture. Now I'm doing the same. So I'm just supposed to let them win? The words taste like ash. No, you're supposed to be smarter than them. He pulls out his phone, showing me an email. I'm launching a new venture, ethical AI development with ironclad IP protection. We need a chief product officer. Hope flickers, but suspicion follows. Why would you trust me? Because you had the perfect chance for pure revenge today, but you chose to ask questions instead of making accusations. That shows judgment, character. He smiles slightly. Also, I've seen your patent work. It's brilliant. My phone buzzes. A text from Talia. We need to talk. It's about Pierce, and it's worse than you know. Dorian sees the message. Interesting timing. You think it's a trap? I think, he says carefully, that you have a choice to make. You can destroy Quantum and everyone in it. Or you can build something better, something that makes Pierce and his kind obsolete. I stare at Talia's message, remembering the anonymous email with the documentation. If she's turning on Pierce now, what would you do? I ask Dorian. I'd remember that true power isn't in destruction, it's in creation. He stands, dropping his business card on the table. Call me when you decide. Either way, I suspect things are about to get interesting. At home, I spread everything out on my kitchen counter. The legal threats, Dorian's documents, my original patent work. My reflection in the window looks different somehow. Harder, clearer. I pick up my phone and text Talia. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. You bring proof of whatever Pierce is hiding. I'll bring coffee. Then I email Victoria. Need your advice. Things just got complicated. Finally, I open my laptop and start typing. Not a lawsuit, not a public accusation, but something else entirely. A business plan. Because Dorian's right. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Pierce wanted a war. Instead, I'm going to build an empire. The coffee shop is empty at 7:55 a.m., except for Talia, hunched over her laptop like it might shield her from what's coming. Two cups sit in front of her. She remembers I take mine black. The gesture would mean something if trust wasn't a luxury I can't afford anymore. You look terrible, I say, sliding into the seat across from her. She does, designer clothes wrinkled, dark circles under her eyes. Haven't slept much lately. Guilt does that. Guilt or fear. I leave the coffee untouched. Show me what you found. Her hands shake as she turns her laptop toward me. Pierce isn't just stealing patents. He's stealing everything. Look. Spreadsheets fill the screen. Financial records, transfer logs, investor reports. Each tab reveals a new layer of fraud. Pierce hasn't just been cooking the books. He's been running a sophisticated shell game with investor funds. Jesus, my throat tightens. How long? At least a year, maybe longer. Talia's voice drops. That's why he needed your patent. The AI acquisition was supposed to attract new investors before everything collapsed. And you helped him. The words taste like poison. I didn't know at first. By the time I figured it out, she wraps her arms around herself. He has dirt on everyone, Gianna. Things that could destroy careers, relationships, lives. What does he have on you? Her silence speaks volumes. My phone buzzes. Victoria. Where are you? Emergency meeting in 20. Bring your laptop. I have to go. I stand, finally meeting Talia's eyes. Whatever Pierce has on you, get ahead of it. Because when this breaks, and it will break, you don't want to be on the wrong side. Victoria's office is a hurricane of activity. Dorian paces by the window while Victoria directs what looks like a small army of lawyers via video call. Pierce moved faster than we expected, she says as I enter. He's calling an emergency board meeting. Today. My stomach drops. To do what? To authorize a merger. Dorian turns from the window. With global tech industries, they'll absorb all of Quantum's assets and liabilities, including any patent disputes, Victoria adds grimly. If this goes through, your claim gets buried in corporate red tape for years. My mind races. When's the meeting? 2 hours. Victoria dismisses the video call. We need to move now. No. The clarity of the moment surprises me. We need to let him make the first mistake. I pull out my phone, scrolling through recent calls until I find it, the number for Sandra at Blackwood Legal. How quickly can you get me into that board meeting? Victoria's eyes narrow. What are you planning? Something incredibly stupid. I hit dial. Or incredibly brilliant. 30 minutes later, I'm standing in Blackwood's sleek conference room, facing down 3 senior partners. Ms. Wheeler, Sandra begins, regarding the cease and desist. I'm not here about that. I open my laptop. I'm here about fiduciary duty and securities fraud. The room temperature seems to drop 10 degrees. That's a serious accusation, one partner says carefully. It is, one I'm prepared to take to the SEC. I turn my screen toward them. Unless I get a seat in that board meeting, what follows is the most expensive hour of legal negotiation I've ever witnessed. But by the end, I have what I need: official observer status at the meeting, backed by an emergency petition citing shareholder interests. My phone buzzes with a text from Dorian. Whatever you're planning, be careful. Pierce fights dirty when cornered. Another message follows, this one from Talia. He knows you're coming to the meeting. Be ready. I text back. I'm counting on it. The elevator ride to Quantum's executive floor feels like ascending to a battlefield. In my briefcase are copies of everything: the fraud evidence, the patent documentation, even Pierce's threatening emails. But my most powerful weapon is something else entirely: the truth about what happens when power corrupts. The boardroom doors loom ahead. Through the glass, I can see Pierce at the head of the table, looking confident as ever. He doesn't know that his perfect escape plan is about to become his perfect trap. My phone buzzes one last time. Victoria. Remember, you're not just fighting for yourself anymore. Make it count. I straighten my jacket, check my reflection in the chrome elevator doors. The woman looking back at me isn't the same one who walked out of this building in defeat weeks ago. Time to show them exactly what I've become. The boardroom falls silent as I take my seat. Pierce's smile doesn't waver, but his knuckles whiten around his pen. 8 board members sit between us, their expressions ranging from curious to hostile. Talia hovers near the door, clutching her tablet like a shield. Before we begin, Pierce says smoothly, I move to exclude Miss Wheeler due to conflict of interest. Actually, I interrupt, sliding a document forward. My presence has been legally secured. But please continue outlining the merger proposal. I'm particularly interested in the asset valuation section. His eyes narrow slightly. The game begins. For 20 minutes, I listen to him spin a masterful fiction about global tech's interest, the strategic advantages, the shareholder benefits. It's almost beautiful how elegantly he lies. And the intellectual property portfolio? I ask when he pauses. Particularly the recently acquired AI patents? All properly acquired and documented. He slides a folder to the board members. As you can see, interesting. I open my laptop because I have documentation showing those patents were developed in-house under my supervision months before any acquisition talks. The board chairman leans forward. Is this true? Ms. Wheeler is obviously bitter about her termination, Pierce interjects. These baseless accusations are supported by evidence. I project my screen onto the wall, including internal communications about deliberately suppressing the patent application to acquire it at a lower cost. Murmurs ripple through the room. Pierce's smile turns predatory. Even if true, he says, any intellectual property developed during your employment belongs to Quantum, as your termination agreement clearly states, an agreement I never signed. I meet his gaze. But that's not really what this meeting is about, is it? His expression flickers. I stand slowly, commanding the room. This merger isn't about strategic growth, it's about hiding fraud. I start sharing documents, the financial records, the transfer logs. Mr. Pierce has been systematically misappropriating investor funds through a network of shell companies. That's enough. Pierce slams his hand on the table. This is slander. It's public record. A new voice joins in. Talia steps forward, her tablet displaying additional documents. I've been gathering evidence for months. Pierce's face contorts. You treacherous little. The SEC has copies of everything. I cut in. They're very interested in speaking with you. Chaos erupts. Board members demand explanations. Pierce's lawyer frantically whispers in his ear. But I'm watching Talia, who looks simultaneously terrified and relieved. Then Pierce starts laughing. Well played, he says, reaching for his phone. But you forgot something crucial. He turns to the board. Before we continue, I'd like to share some information about Ms. Evans' activities during her early days at Quantum. Talia goes pale. The dirt he has on her, whatever it is, must be devastating. Time slows as I weigh my options. I could let him destroy her, remove a potential competitor. She betrayed me first, after all. But looking at her face, I remember all the late nights we spent building this company, all the dreams we shared. Stop. My voice cuts through the tension. Whatever you're about to say, don't. Pierce's smile widens. Protecting her now? How noble. But nothing. I move to stand between them. You want to destroy someone's life? Try mine. Unlike Talia, I have nothing left to lose. Gianna, don't, Talia starts. It's okay. I don't take my eyes off Pierce. Go ahead. Show them whatever you have. Because when you're done, I'm still going to be standing here with proof of your fraud, and they're still going to know exactly who you are. The silence stretches. Pierce's finger hovers over his phone. Then, surprisingly, he laughs again, but this time it sounds hollow. You've changed, he says quietly. You have no idea. The board chairman clears his throat. I think we've heard enough. This meeting is suspended pending an emergency audit. Mr. Pierce, please surrender your company devices and credentials to security. Everything happens quickly after that. Security arrives. Lawyers make calls. Pierce is escorted out, his face a mask of cold fury. But before he leaves, he pauses beside me. This isn't over, he whispers. No, I agree, but the next move is mine. Later, in Victoria's office, I slump in her expensive leather chair, exhaustion finally hitting. You protected Talia, she observes. Why? Because beating Pierce isn't enough anymore. I stare out at the city lights. I want to be better than him. My phone buzzes. Dorian. Board wants to meet tomorrow about that CPO position. Victoria reads over my shoulder. What are you going to do? I think about Pierce's face as he left, about Talia's gratitude, about the weight of choices and consequences. I'm going to build something, I say finally, something he can't touch. But first, I have to survive whatever he's planning next. Because men like Pierce don't lose gracefully. They burn everything down on their way out. And the fire is just getting started. The Tech Innovation Summit buzzes with nervous energy. Everyone's talking about Quantum's implosion, about Pierce's disappearance after the board meeting. I adjust my presentation slides one last time, trying to ignore the whispers that follow me through the conference hall. Ready? Dorian appears at my elbow, looking sharp in his keynote speaker suit, as I'll ever be. I check my phone. Still no response from Victoria. She was supposed to be here an hour ago. She'll make it. He reads my mind with unsettling accuracy. Focus on the announcement. This is your moment. He's right. In 20 minutes, we're announcing our new venture, an ethical AI development company with revolutionary patent protection protocols. My patents, my design, my redemption. A movement catches my eye. Talia slips into the auditorium looking anxious. She gestures urgently for me to join her. Give me 2 minutes, I tell Dorian. Pierce is here, Talia whispers when I reach her. And he's got something planned. Victoria tried to warn you, but he. Where is she? My chest tightens. Hospital, minor car accident. She's okay, but. Talia grabs my arm. He orchestrated it, Gianna, to get her out of the way. The pieces click together. The announcement. He's going to try to stop it. Worse. She pulls out her tablet. Look what just dropped on every major tech news site. My stomach lurches as I read. Anonymous sources claiming I stole the AI architecture from Quantum's secure servers. Fabricated evidence suggesting I orchestrated the company's collapse for personal gain. Pierce's final play, destroying my credibility before I can rebuild. The timing isn't coincidental, Talia says. He wants you to see this right before you go on stage. He wants you to break. My hands shake as notifications flood my phone. Journalists wanting comments, investors expressing concern. Everything we've built, everything I fought for, balanced on a knife's edge. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer's voice booms. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Dorian Dixon. What are you going to do? Talia asks. I straighten my spine. Change the game. Dorian takes the stage to enthusiastic applause. Right on cue, Pierce slips into the back row, looking satisfied. He doesn't see me approaching until I'm right beside him. Enjoying the show? I whisper. He doesn't flinch. Come to beg me to retract the story? No. I smile, channeling every ounce of his own cold confidence. Come to thank you. That gets his attention. You taught me something valuable, I continue as Dorian begins his speech. Power isn't in patents or positions, it's in truth. Truth? He scoffs. Look at your phone, Gianna. Look what truth gets you. I'm about to show you. Dorian's voice rises. And now, I'd like to introduce our Chief Product Officer and co-founder. I stand straightening my jacket. Pierce's eyes widen as he realizes what's coming. You can't. Watch me. The lights feel warm as I take the stage. Hundreds of faces stare back at me, some recognizing me from the news stories they've just read. Perfect. Thank you, Dorian. My voice carries clear and strong. Before we announce our new venture, I want to tell you a story about power, corruption, and the cost of silence. For the next 10 minutes, I lay it all bare. The patent theft, the fraud, the manipulation, but most importantly, the evidence, all of it, displayed on the massive screen behind me, including security footage from Quantum servers showing Pierce himself downloading my original designs. Innovation isn't built on theft, I conclude, watching Pierce's face turn ashen. It's built on integrity, which is why our new company's first product isn't just an AI platform. It's a blockchain-based patent protection system designed to make theft impossible. The audience erupts. In the back, Pierce stands, heading for the exit. But security, arranged by Dorian, is already waiting. One more thing, I say into the microphone. To the anonymous sources claiming I stole Quantum's technology, check your inboxes. The SEC just released their preliminary findings. Truth has a funny way of coming out. Later, after the handshakes and interviews, I find Talia waiting backstage. That was either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, she says. Why not both? I'm still shaking with adrenaline. Thank you for the warning, for everything. She shakes her head. I owed you that and more. My phone buzzes. Victoria from her hospital bed. Told you didn't need me, but next time, let's stick to metaphorical explosions. I laugh, feeling lighter than I have in months. Through the curtain, I can hear Dorian fielding questions about our launch timeline. The future stretches out bright and possible. Pierce taught me about power, but I learned about strength on my own, and I'm just getting started. The setting sun paints my new office in shades of amber, so different from the sterile fluorescence of Quantum. A stack of employment contracts sits on my desk. Our first wave of hires starts tomorrow. Among them, a bright-eyed developer named Alyssa, who reminds me of myself 4 years ago. My phone lights up with a news alert. Former Quantum CEO accepts plea deal. I don't need to read it. I was there this morning watching Pierce's carefully constructed facade finally crumble in the federal courthouse. A knock at my door pulls me from the memory. Got a minute? Dorian asks. Several, actually. I gesture to the visitor's chair. First time I've had breathing room in weeks. He sits, sliding a folder across my desk. The board approved your proposal, full autonomy on the mentorship program. I open the folder, scanning the documents. Everything I asked for, resources, funding, support staff, a real chance to change how the industry develops talent. There's something else. Dorian's tone makes me look up. Talia reached out. She's starting a consulting firm focused on ethical business practices, wants to partner with us on compliance training. The irony almost makes me laugh. What did you tell her? That it was your call. I stand walking to the window. Below, San Francisco bustles with evening energy. Somewhere out there, Pierce is facing the consequences of his choices. Somewhere else, Victoria is probably terrorizing her physical therapist with demands to return to work. You know, I say slowly, someone very wise once told me that true power isn't in destruction, it's in creation. Sounds like a smart person. He has his moments. I turn back to face him. Tell Talia yes, but with conditions. Everything transparent, everything above board. You sure? No. I smile. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? Trust isn't about being sure. It's about being brave enough to try again. Another knock interrupts us. Alyssa stands in the doorway, looking nervous but determined. Sorry to interrupt, but I had some ideas about the patent protection system, improvements on the blockchain integration. Come in, I say, recognizing the fire in her eyes. Show me what you've got. As she spreads her diagrams across my desk, enthusiasm pouring out, I catch Dorian hiding a smile. I'll leave you to it, he says, heading for the door. Oh, and Gianna? Victoria called. She's breaking out of rehab tomorrow. Her words, not mine. I laugh. Some things never change. For the next hour, I listen to Alyssa's ideas. They're rough but brilliant, exactly the kind of innovation I once brought to Pierce. But instead of stealing her work, I grab a marker and join her at the whiteboard. Okay, I say, let's build on this, together. Later, after Alyssa leaves clutching pages of notes and practically vibrating with excitement, I find myself alone in the quiet office. My reflection in the window looks serene, powerful, but not in the cold way Pierce wielded power. This feels different, warmer, real. My phone buzzes one last time. A text from an unknown number. You won. Congratulations. P. I delete it without responding. He still doesn't understand. This was never about winning. It was about choosing who I wanted to become. The night air feels crisp as I lock up the office. Tomorrow brings new challenges. Victoria's inevitable takeover of our PR strategy, Talia's complicated redemption attempt, Alyssa's boundless energy. But for the first time since that sunset in my old office, I'm not afraid of what's coming. I pass the security guard, returning his warm smile. Good night, Ms. Wheeler. Good night, Marcus. I pause at the door. Actually, it's Gianna. Just Gianna. Outside, the city lights twinkle like possibilities. I think about Pierce, about power, about the thin line between vengeance and justice. He taught me how to fight, but I learned how to build on my own. My car chirps as I unlock it, but I don't get in right away. Instead, I look up at my office window, at the company I'm creating, at the future stretching out before me. Pierce wanted to write my ending. Instead, he just wrote my beginning. And this time, I'm holding the pen.